Welcome to Marketing Without the Marketing. I'm your host, Michael Bosey, and happy, as always, to have you here with me. If you've been following along, you know that after a fairly long hiatus, restarted the show with a slightly new format, shorter episodes, more focused on my experience using content strategy and content marketing, and thinking of marketing in a little bit different way, and sharing that experience with you. Work with this stuff, week to week with clients and in my own creative work. And I look at my job here as just to share what works and frankly, what doesn't as well, so that you can apply it or choose not to apply it to your own business. Today, I want to talk about 3 really important things to running an online business, or let's face it, any business in general: empathy, energy, and ethics. Now, with my business, I work with clients directly, but I consider myself a freelancer. It's my own biz. I hire people when I need to for help, but for the most part, it's just me working with clients who are usually very small businesses, sometimes solo entrepreneurs, but usually, 3 people in the company, 6 people. I think the largest company I work with right now is 12 people total, so very small businesses. Now, freelancers are everywhere, but we're not all the same. I don't have a lot in common with gig workers on Fiverr, for instance, and this is no knock on that type of work. I would never disrespect the folks who are making a living using any of these platforms or how they choose to do their work. But I feel like, and you probably do too, I feel like I bring a creativity to the equation that's hard to replicate, right? Because, look, they're based on my experiences. And I'm not saying that I'm unique here. You could say the same thing about yourself, right? The things that you bring to the table are based entirely on your experiences. In doing a self-audit, and especially with some time spent in hiatus on this podcast, I was thinking, all right, what are the things that I can bring to the equation here? And, I would urge you to do the same thing. Do an honest self-audit of what it is that makes you special, because that's going to allow you to sell yourself and your business more, whether that's, you're trying to run your own business, or look, this even works for folks who are trying to find a job, or if you've been out of work through this pandemic, trying to start your own business, or again, you're on the job market looking for a position. When I look at myself in this way, I think, okay, here are the things that I do. Writer and editor, right? I've done hundreds of blog posts, dozens of ghostwritten pieces for clients in the New York Times, in Washington Post, in Time Magazine, etc. I deal with web presence, write and build websites, helping folks create the digital representation of themselves on the web. I'm an audio producer. I can produce and edit professional audio. I've done hundreds of episodes of this podcast, so that probably is obvious to you. Can produce video as well. I've produced a number of video products for clients. You probably know, if you follow along with this podcast, that I'm also a musician, a performer, guitar player, and I've written hundreds of songs over 35 years of doing that, and probably consider myself more of a songwriter, which probably won't surprise you given my focus on writing. I'm a publisher too. The first part of my career, 17 years, was in publishing, so I know the discipline and craft of producing really good content, vetting it, and then getting it out there in a way that is consumable and hopefully forms a connection with people. Of course, that's never a guarantee of that. And I'm a strategist, too. I've run my own business since 2014 and have been at a couple different startups. Took one of them in particular from $0 to $8 million in annual revenue. So I know that realm extremely well. And also, I'm a teacher. I teach a graduate course that I designed on content strategy at Emerson College here in Boston. The reason that I go through this roster is that you can't get this particular set of experiences from anyone else but me. If you look at this from your side of the table, the same thing could be said about you. Your set of experiences is what makes you unique, and it's worth doing an audit of this just to see what it is that you bring to the table. But when I look at all of these things and try to boil this down, from this set of roles that I've had, these experiences that I had, it comes down to three things that I think are really important about me: empathy, energy, and ethics. Empathy helps me see through to the core of a problem, often things that others can't or don't see. Great. Energy helps me drive an idea with clarity on a good day, when things are firing on all cylinders and I'm doing my job properly. Again, there's no guarantee. I don't always hit the mark. And ethics. Ethics helps center me and what I create so that it's, again, hopefully putting something positive into the environment rather than just polluting with more content. So you might be asking, what's the purpose of this? If I can boil it down into these three things, it helps drive decisions going forward. So yes, I got this list of things that I can do that might show up on a resume or on a proposal to a client. That's fine. But when I look at showing up in the world, especially in the digital representation of me on the web, I want to make sure that I'm showing up with these core principles: empathy, energy, ethics. If one of those is missing from something that I'm doing, I want to be self-critical about it, and I want to have a roadmap or something to look to that helps keep me centered. And that's what I intend to apply to my own world, but I urge you to do the same for yourself too. Look at the list of experiences that you have. What are the things that you can do? And can you find some common themes that are really important to you that help center you as well? All right, I'll stop there, but I invite you to go through this exercise as well. And if you do, first of all, thank you for even considering it. But let me know the result. What did you come to with your three things or your two things or your one thing? Like, what is it that centers you? I would love to hear from you. So you can find me on Twitter at mbosey, LinkedIn, leave a comment in the show notes, send me an email. Would love to hear from you. I mean that sincerely. All right. Thank you for listening as always, and I hope to see you on the next episode.